Hello Warriors, DeCrans here, and what I want to talk about now is the next project we're going to work on, which is to create your own choice landscape. So, kind of what I'm going to do here is kind of like talk about different ways to like do different skies, different mountains, hills, trees, rocks, flowers. Show you guys a couple different techniques throughout the lesson here, but you're going to pick and choose landscape that you want to paint, and I'm going to just kind of give you kind of like different tools and different ways to like do it and kind of help you guys out. But it's got to be something that you want to do. So this could be like anything. It could be from like a starry night to a sunny day to a sunset, to up in the hills, up in the mountains, down by the sea, in a rainforest, in a desert, whatever you want. Let me kind of go through the learning targets here and kind of talk about a little bit how we're going to do this here. So there's 5 learning targets, and the first one is I could draw a sketch of the landscape that you're going to paint. So you're just going to keep a really simple sketch. You're going to wind up painting over everything, so there's no reason to draw anything dark, and there's definitely no reason to shade anything. But for your sketch, you're just drawing some like simple lines of like like hills over here. Maybe you might have a field of flowers over here, some trees over here, things like that. Just keeping it simple so you kind of know what to do. Then you're going to kind of work from the background to the middle ground to the foreground. So you got learning target number 2. I can paint the background, which is the sky, clouds, hills, mountains, things like that. Then you're going to come back and you're going to next part. Then you're going to paint the middle ground, which is learning target number 3. I can paint the middle ground, which is trees, cliffs, buildings, valleys, just kind of whatever you want for your middle ground. Then number 4 is a foreground. That's the stuff up close. And then I can paint the foreground, which would be, rocks, flowers, bushes, water, anything that's like right near you. And then learning target number 5 is you can paint from background to middle ground to foreground. So that's kind of the process here. You kind of go through the next step here. Step 1, painting the background. So usually, typically, what you're doing for the background is the first thing you're doing is painting the sky and the clouds. You kind of want to do the entire sky in one kind of sitting. It's easy to do while like the paint's still wet. You could put clouds in there. You don't have to put clouds. You can put clouds. I'll show you guys different ways to do clouds. Then you're going to go through afterwards, if you have any mountains or anything like that, I'll kind of show you how to do mountains where you got really light hills or mountains in the back, and then it gets like darker as it gets closer. Then you got fields and vegetation, and then for trees, what you're doing if you're using watercolor is you're going from light to dark. But now if you're using acrylic, you're going from dark to light, because you can't really like paint over a dark color from watercolor, but you can definitely paint over a light color with watercolor. So you're going from light to dark for work with watercolor. Step 2 then, now is you're moving to the middle ground. And so you can see right here, this I have the painting in the middle. And the middle ground is more kind of like you got the house, you got the veranda poles, you have the path, you got some vegetation on the walls and on the stuff like that. Then step number 3 then is the foreground. So now you're painting the stuff as close as up to you. And this would be, now you got kind of like the wall. Now you're putting like some texture on the wall. Make it look like you got some bricks and stuff like that. You can put some vines on top of the wall. You got some bushes and vegetation and things as they come closer to you. So you got you're working background, middle ground, foreground. This is we're working on this for like 3 weeks. So typically, what we do this first week is you're going to draw it out and you're going to kind of paint the sky and maybe some of the hills or mountains or whatever the distance. Then next week, then we're going to go through and we'll start painting the middle ground. And then the 3rd week of this project, we'll paint the foreground and kind of finish up. So you got 3 weeks, you got a little bit of time on this, but time to make it nice and kind of make sure you kind of do what you want to do. So now, throughout here then, I got, this is kind of a quick 30-minute video. I don't like to play things while I record it, so you're just going to watch this video. It kind of goes through like how to paint the watercolor landscape. I got tons of different videos that I've saved throughout the years, so if there's like something you want to do or whatever, email me if you're distance only, or If you're in class, just let me know, and then I can send you like a video of exactly how, well, what you kind of want or something kind of close to help you out. Anyway, so this kind of just kind of goes through the process. So it's a pretty quick video to kind of get started, kind of like a basic landscape. Then I got a couple different videos here with how to paint the different clouds. So this is all watercolor clouds. So you got clouds. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult. Clouds typically less is more. So you're not doing a lot of work for clouds, but if you kind of watch us, I kind of go through real quick how to like paint a couple different clouds. So this is with watercolor. And now, then for acrylic, I got another video here where showing you how to paint different skies and stuff like that with acrylic paint. It's a little bit different than watercolor paint. If you're in the classroom, you can use acrylic if you want. Nice part about acrylic paint is it's easy to do layers. If you make a mistake, you just paint right over it. And so I like that. The difficult part is, well, I mean, the good part, pros, painting layers, it's more forgiving than watercolor, but the negatives would be it takes a lot longer to clean up at the end of the class period. You gotta like wipe down everything, and things stick. You gotta clean the brushes up pretty good. So there's like a little bit more like time to clean up and prep and get started. And it takes a little longer too, but it's more forgiving. So anyways, I got a couple videos here for watercolor landscapes here, kind of talking through like different hills and stuff like that, mountains, kind of working how you would paint those. There's another one with different hills. How you go, like hills are lighter in the distance, they get a little bit darker, and as they get closer to you, they get darker and darker as they get closer to you. Anyways, this is a quick time-lapse video. You can watch that, depending on like what kind of hills or mountains and stuff you have. Yeah. Keep going here. I've got a couple videos here about like how to paint some different trees and rocks in watercolor. You can watch that. I'll probably throw a couple more videos in here as you guys work on the project. You don't need to watch each of these videos, but just kind of helps you out. Here's a time lapse for a stream, and then a lot of people like might struggle like how you do like a field of flowers. So I got a couple time lapse videos of how to do a field of flowers here. Pretty simple. Then how you do flowers with acrylic paint, and again I'll throw a few more videos in here throughout the week. But anyways, big thing is you're picking your own landscape. You could look at a photo. That's always helpful. One thing is you can make your own landscape. So you could grab a like let's say you like the sky in one photo, and you really like this mountain in another photo, but you really like this like pathway in another photo. You could like grab a couple different photos and make your own landscape of the different photos. But you want to have something to look at. But you have the ability, like you take the artistic liberty to like change anything you want to change. It doesn't need to be exactly like the photo, but it helps out a lot to look at a photo of kind of like a landscape that you want to make. So anyways, I'm gonna like kind of stop right there. I'll be able to talk a little more about this in class. But the big thing is thinking about what you want to do for your landscape thing, and just drawing a really light sketch. And you're going to pick either, if you're in class, you're going to pick acrylic or watercolor. If you're at home, you're picking watercolor unless you have your own acrylic. Then you sketch it out. Then you're working from background to middle ground to foreground, and then at the end of it, you have a pretty cool landscape painting. That's something that you picked yourself and you made yourself. So, anyways, I'll stop right there, and look forward to working with you guys this next couple weeks on painting some landscapes.